The headquarters of Sterling Global stood like a cathedral of glass and marble in the heart of New York, its towering frame catching the glow of the city like a monument to ambition itself. Every surface gleamed with precision, every hallway echoed with purpose, and every person who walked its polished floors carried the quiet weight of expectation. It was a place where success wasn't just measured, it was demanded. High above it all, in a corner office on the 40th floor, Arthur Sterling sat alone. From his desk, the city stretched endlessly beneath him, but his attention wasn't on the skyline. It was fixed on a wall of security monitors, dozens of small windows into every corner of the building he had built from nothing. To Arthur, these screens were more than surveillance. They were control, order, certainty in a world that had once taken everything from him without warning. He leaned back slightly, his expression unreadable. People often described him as cold, calculating, a man who wore wealth like armor, and in many ways, that was true. After losing his wife years ago, something inside him had hardened, reshaped itself into something efficient but distant. He had poured his grief into building an empire, convincing himself that success could fill the silence left behind. It never did. His finger hovered near the console, ready to switch feeds, when something unusual caught his eye. Camera 7. In the otherwise immaculate lobby, where executives came and went with purpose, a small figure sat alone on a bench. A boy no older than 7, his shoulders trembling as he buried his face in his hands. Even through the grainy black and white footage, the weight of his grief was unmistakable. It wasn't loud or disruptive. It was quiet, the kind of sadness that didn't ask for attention but carried a depth that felt far too heavy for someone so small. Arthur frowned. An unauthorized presence, that's what it was, a breach of protocol. His instinct was immediate: call security, remove the problem, restore order. But something held him back. He watched. The boy didn't move. No one approached him. People passed by, glancing briefly before continuing on, their schedules more urgent than a child's silent pain. Then from the edge of the frame another figure appeared. An older man in a faded gray janitor's uniform. He moved slowly, deliberately, pushing a mop across the floor with the kind of rhythm that comes from years of repetition. His posture was slightly bent, his movements careful, almost as if he carried invisible weight. His name was Silas, though Arthur had never bothered to learn it. To him, the man had always been part of the background, like furniture, necessary but unnoticed. Silas paused when he saw the boy. For a moment he simply stood there, observing. Then without hesitation, he set the mop aside with quiet care and walked over. Arthur leaned forward. Instead of calling for help or alerting security, Silas sat down next to the boy. Not too close, just close enough. He didn't speak, he didn't ask questions, he simply stayed. There was something almost unsettling about it, the stillness, the patience. In a building that thrived on urgency, this moment felt out of place. After a few seconds, Silas reached into a worn canvas bag slung over his shoulder. Carefully he unwrapped it, broke it in half and extended one piece toward the boy. No words, no explanation, just an offering. The boy hesitated, lifting his head slightly. His eyes were wide, uncertain, as if he couldn't quite believe what was happening. Then slowly, he took the sandwich. Arthur felt something shift in his chest. It was unfamiliar, uncomfortable, and impossible to ignore. The next morning Arthur couldn't shake what he had seen. Meetings came and went. Contracts were discussed. Numbers were analyzed. But none of it held his focus the way it usually did. His mind kept drifting back to that quiet moment in the lobby, the simplicity of it, the humanity of it. By midday, he made a decision. Bring me the janitor from last night," he told his assistant. The boardroom was an intimidating place, designed to impress and overwhelm. Long polished table, floor-to-ceiling windows, chairs that cost more than most people's monthly salaries. It was a room where billion-dollar decisions were made. And now, standing awkwardly near the doorway was Silas. His uniform was clean but visibly worn, patched in. His hands were rough, marked by years of labor. But his posture was steady, his gaze calm. Arthur studied him for a moment before speaking. "I saw what you did on the cameras," he said. Silas nodded slightly, as if this wasn't surprising. Arthur leaned forward. measure. Why would you give away your meal to a stranger's child? There was no accusation in his tone. Just genuine curiosity. Silas didn't answer immediately. He seemed to consider the question, as if weighing its importance. Oh, because he needed it more than I did, he said simply. Arthur frowned. Oh, that doesn't make sense. You don't have much yourself. Silas's expression didn't change. Y'all have enough. The answer lingered in the room. Unsatisfied, Arthur had already ordered a background check. The file now sat in front of him unopened. He glanced down at it, then back at the man. Who are you really? Arthur asked. Silas didn't respond. So Arthur opened the file. What he found wasn't what he expected. A decade earlier, Silas had been a lead engineer, respected, successful, a man who designed and built bridges. He had a career, a family, a life that mirrored the kind of success Arthur himself valued. Then came the accident. His son, gone in an instant. Arthur's grip tightened on the file. According to the records, Silas had walked away from everything shortly after his entire trajectory. Arthur looked up slowly. You gave all of this up? He asked. Silas met his gaze. I realized something after my son died, he said quietly. You can build the strongest structures in the world, but it doesn't matter if there's no one there to walk across them with. The words landed harder than Arthur expected. But why this? Arthur pressed. Why this job? Silas gave a small shrug. It's honest work. And it leaves me time. For what? Silas hesitated, then spoke. For people. Arthur flipped through more pages. What he discovered went far beyond a single act of kindness. There were reports. Unofficial, scattered. Notes about anonymous grocery deliveries left on doorsteps. Repairs done quietly for elderly residents. Volunteer hours at shelters. Mentorship for children no one seemed to notice. All of it unpaid, unrecognized, invisible. Arthur felt something tighten in his throat. I've been doing this for years, he said. Silas nodded. Why? Silas's answer was steady. Because kindness isn't something you turn on and off, it's how you stay human. Silence filled the room. For the first time in a long time, Arthur didn't have a response. He thought about his own life. His endless pursuit of growth, profit, control. The empire he had built with relentless focus, and what it had cost him. Somewhere along the way he had stopped seeing people, truly seeing. He looked at Silas, not as a janitor, not as an employee, but as a man who had lost everything and somehow chosen compassion over bitterness. Arthur felt something crack open inside him. I've spent years building this company, he said slowly. Oh, but I think I've been looking at it the wrong. Silas didn't interrupt. Arthur stood, walking toward the window. The city stretched out before him, vast and alive. I thought success was about reaching the top, he continued. But maybe it's about what you do once you're there. But not just in this company, in myself. Silas watched him quietly. Arthur took a breath. I'm starting a foundation, for people like the ones you've been helping, the ones no one sees. Silas's expression softened slightly. And I want you to run. For the first time, Silas seemed genuinely surprised. I'm just a janitor, he said. Arthur shook his head. He replied. You're the kind of person this world needs more of. A long pause followed. Then, slowly, Silas nodded. In the months that followed, it didn't make headlines, it didn't chase recognition, but it changed lives. Arthur changed too. He started walking through his own building differently. Not as a man above it all but as someone part of it. He learned names. He listened. He paid attention. and sometimes he'd sit in lobby, just in case someone needed a moment of quiet understanding, because he had finally learned something no amount of money could teach him, that the most important things in life aren't built with steel or glass, they're built with kindness. Sometimes, the people we overlook are the ones holding everything together. If this story touched you, take a moment to like and share it with someone who might need a reminder that kindness still exists. And in the comments, tell us, have you ever witnessed someone give selflessly without expecting anything in return? Subscribe to Pure Kindness for more stories that prove even the smallest act of compassion can change a life.